Madam President, nice to see you. I tried to get up there to see you, but you were mingling amongst the members. And Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to all of my colleagues. So I want to start by commending the Rabbi for his thoughtful words and your prayer. Anytime anyone, a person of faith, can stand before us and bless us, we can always use that. I'm very appreciative. And I wrote down strength, courage, tenacity, and determination. You said a lot of other things, but that's what I wrote down. And God knows we're going to need plenty of it as we move into this coming year. So it's wonderful to see you here. And I'm going to add, which I have a penchant for doing, but I'll do it extremely briefly. We are all privileged to serve in this body. We are all privileged to be elected officials. We are all privileged to be public servants. Having said that, every one of us should be proud of what we do. Everyone should be proud of being a New York State Senator representing over 300,000 people. We will have our differences, as you all know, but we have a lot more in common than we do that divides us. So it's very, very important to me to say that time and time again, and hopefully it's a reminder, because when we do have a new colleague join us, now, I'm going to smile even broader because he happens to be a new colleague in our conference, but I want to welcome Senator Borrello, who left 3 days ago to come to Albany because he lives so far in the western part of the state. And I looked, he's got a fabulous pedigree. He's a real born and bred New Yorker, family business. It was wonderful to see his family here today for swearing in, because it's reminiscent for all of us of how special a day this is. His district is 4,139 square miles. 4,139 square miles. And on some days, he can get across his district faster than Diane Savino. So we all know what that means, right? All politics is local. So I stand before you today grateful to be here. I'm serving now in my 34th legislative session along. I'm a classmate, although we started in different houses, of Senator Seward, and I think it's appropriate for me to recognize in the Democratic Conference the senior member of that conference, Senator Belmonette Montgomery, and of course, my good friend and colleague, Senator Ken Laval. Their longevity is something that should be emulated and embraced and congratulated for their yeoman-like service for a very long period of time. So as we come into this day in particular, this is, in my opinion, this is really the governor's day. This is a day for the governor to present his message to the people of the state of New York. And we play a critical role in that, for sure. Certainly, one, by showing up, two, by listening, and three, by responding. And I hope and feel and pray that my colleagues in the Republican Conference will be thoughtful, be diplomatic, be assertive, be aggressive when need be, and be responsive to the proposals that are being put forth by the governor. A number of them have, so to speak, leaked out, which happens with every governor. That's fine and that's okay. There are things that get out there for the public's review. There's a couple of things out there to salt the media, so to speak, and to give them things to write about in anticipation of what the governor may say. And I am looking forward to what he has to offer as a message, but I'm apprehensive because I've seen some of the things that have come out. I believe the focus of our conference this year will be, as it always is, on our constituents, on the residents that we represent, on the taxpayers and the hardworking, middle-class New Yorkers that many of us represent. We will be one-dimensional, we will be focused, we will be parochial, we will be collegial, because we are all state representatives. But our fundamental obligation is to the districts that we represent. My colleague Ken Laval from the Senate 1st District always says 1st District first. Loves all of you, but he loves his constituents a lot more. And we're all selfish that way, and that's okay, because that's part of the process. But we find ourselves at a time where we have very, very challenging issues for the people of the great state of New York. If you're a taxpayer, it's tough. Woo! It is tough. If you're a business owner, it's even tougher. If you're a business owner someplace else and you're thinking about coming to New York, it's even tougher. We have way too many obstacles, way too many burdens, way too much oversight and regulation that doesn't do really anything to serve the people that we represent, in our opinion. We will offer a bold agenda that is taxpayer-based. We're going to talk about things that have gone by the boards, like a property tax rebate check that our constituents love and that they deserve. We're going to talk about not raising taxes, full well knowing that we have a large deficit. And today is not the day to really get into that. But I want to focus on one thing in particular. Our fundamental obligation includes making sure that people feel safe, not only in their home and in surrounding environments, but in their communities. Madam President, you spoke to this with passion. And that is one of our core obligations. I don't believe that this body has met that obligation. I don't believe the public is as safe as they were a year ago. I don't believe our law enforcement has been given the tools that they need to protect our people in their homes and their communities. I don't believe our district attorneys have been given the proper tools and authority and discretion along with our judges. And as a result, the public is less safe. And it's been borne out in less than 8 days on a daily basis. And the Democrats, the Senate Democrats, the Assembly Democrats, and the governor own that. And I'm sure many of them will say, that's fine. But the people we represent, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Conservatives, I'm hearing more about these issues than anything else and everything else combined. What should have happened was more diligence. What should have happened was listening to people who are in the trenches every day protecting us, but it didn't happen. And now a lot of people are walking back, including the governor and the mayor of the city of New York and a lot of other elected officials who were in strong support of the changes. They're not making the public safe. That's going to be a critical issue. And when we come into session tomorrow, that should be the only thing that we're dealing with. We have many other things that we'll be dealing with, including the state budget. I want to work with my colleagues. I have great respect for Senator Stewart Cousins, Senator Gianaris, and all my Democratic colleagues. But we're going to mix it up. You know we are. And I want to do it in a way that makes the people that we represent proud. And when I say I want to do it that way, I believe I speak for my colleagues in the Republican Conference, including our newest member, Senator Burrell. Madam President, Senator Stewart Cousins, Senator Gianaris, I am grateful for the opportunity to be able to stand here with you, and let's get about doing the work of the people, again, of the great state of New York. Thank you.